In a world like none other, there comes one man in search of plastic, in search of cons. He is known as Plasticon. Join him as he brings toys from another dimension to a household near you. Welcome back to yet another Transformers review. Today we're going to cover a Generation 1 combiner. This combiner is also a train. Yes, I'm talking about Generation 1 Raiden. Now, I do not remember how to pronounce all the names to all the bots themselves, primarily because it's Japanese and I do have problems trying to enunciate Japanese words, so I'm not going to bother to slaughter those names. But it is Raiden, the overall ensemble of 6 trains that turn into a gigantic robot. I happen to be a little partial to these, mainly because I am a train fanatic. I love trains. Trains are cool. Some people in the United States don't like trains. Well, you know what? I don't care. I like trains. And the crazy thing is a lot of these are European trains. So, let's get on to the actual locomotives themselves. I'm going to start out here with this smaller blue one. Now, this is more like a subway type of locomotive. This would primarily be used to pull passenger cars, because it does have quite a few windows actually picked out here all the way across it. It does have a EF65 kind of tampled onto it, as well as right here. It's actually really neat. I do like this one a lot. I like the design of the train. It's very cool. One thing I tend to see a lot of people do when I've seen reviews of these guys is they never point this out. This opens up because this is actually designed for a Diaclone figure to fit in. Way back in the Diaclone age, there were figures that fit in your toys. This will actually fit a Diaclone figure. I don't have a Diaclone figure on hand at the moment right now to put in here because I am not at my normal place that I should be at. Primarily over at my friend's house. But yeah, that's what this little flap here does. For anybody that has ever owned one of these sets and they have no clue what that's for, that is for a Diaclone figure to fit in the actual front of the locomotive. But anyhow, these guys do turn into little bitty robots as well. There is some parts forming here. Oh my god, worst toy ever! Those people that get on that high horse, you should never buy a Generation 1, period. You shouldn't even be into G1 if you hate parts forming. Get off your high horse. Seriously, people. Anyhow, I'm going to pull this portion here off. Because, yes, the actual cab where the Diaclone figure sits comes off. You can actually leave the figure in this because this doesn't do any transformation whatsoever. It's just a little brick. It's like a little mini train car thingy. Yes, they do have rolling wheels, which is nice. I am not absolutely sure the scale of the track. So if anybody out there actually does know the scale of the track, please let me know, because although this one here is for sale, I do happen to have a custom of the color variant version that has the one train that's all chrome and such, because I decided to do a custom because it's awesome and I won't part from that one because I like it. But yes, it's Diaclone, and I would love for somebody to tell me the HO scale for these guys. Please, somebody out there, let me know what the train track is, because I would like to get hold of some. Anyhow, moving on. You're going to primarily fold this little portion here down. Comes the chest flap. You pull these down. That forms legs. Because yes, it's a brick. Oh my god, it's a G1 brick! Yes, it is. And then you primarily will grab these and slowly drop these down, and then you will rotate them. Now, when you do rotate these, they are on a really odd joint. The joint is not a ball joint. It does feel like a ball joint, but they're not. It's primarily, you got two little bitty nubs. And actually, if this guy turns here, yes, I can actually slide it right out. As you can tell, and I did not break the toy, this actually does this. It's got this little nub thing going on here. Here, I got the focus. You can see it's just a circular post with these two little things here sticking out. So they do come off, and it will just slide right back in. And the crazy thing is, you turn it till it clicks. Once it clicks, that's where you want it. You can use that for articulation if you want to, but you do risk the arm falling out of the socket or just falling off. Just a heads up. He does have a rotating head because his head is on a swivel. But that's all the articulation you're going to get out of these guys. They're really neat though. I do like them a lot. Now what do you do with this extra bit? This extra bit, you got a post here on this back, and you got a hole right there. And then you will just take the little extra bit of the cab and then plug it onto his back, and there you go. He's got this gigantic backpack. And these guys actually surprisingly stand up pretty well with that on his back. So, there you go. There's the little blue train. So I'm going to move him out of the way so we don't knock him over. And let's move on to yet another one of the passenger trains. This one here, in the original one, it's a little darker green. It's honestly the only difference I have noticed between this and the original is this is the only thing that sets off the KO next to the original, other than the die-cast little wheels down here. That's literally it. This is the higher quality KO though. There is another knockoff that's out there that is almost a shampoo plastic. Please, for the love of God, avoid that one. It will not hold together. It is a waste of your funds. Try to find the ABS plastic one like this one, or the original. If you can't afford an original, this is the one to get, because it is very difficult just to get hold of these molds anymore, because these molds are almost non-existent. Although I kind of really wish that Hasbro would get off their high horse and oblige us and give us a reissue of this guy, because seriously, I don't care where you're at in the United States or all across the entire world, you are going to want a train bot. And this train robo is awesome and I love it. And Raiden is one of the best. But yeah, a little biased. Anyhow, this guy does not have a place for a Diaclone driver. Diaclone driver would not fit in this one because this cab does a complete different thing. But his transformation is you pull this off, and then you're just going to leave this, just like this for now. We'll get into that part later. And yes, it can become a little cab thing, and it can drive around like this too. It's like a little trolley. But here's the main portion. This one, you're going to extend the legs, just like you normally would. And then you're going to reach over here and you're going to grab these. And this is going to pull out this direction and then this direction. But you're not done yet, because you have to move the arms up and then turn this guy 360 degrees. Or 180, sorry, not 360. What am I thinking? And there you go. There he is in his robot mode. Now, this thing splits in half. Yes, it will come off because that's what these sometimes do. But it will split in half, and there you go. It forms kind of like a wing backpack thing. And then what you'll do is you'll take this post and you will plug it into that hole right there on the back. And there we go. And he does have a tampo on here of T153 on his side. There you go. He's got like this wing jetpack thing going on, which is kind of cool. That's a little different. This does not come with the little guns Although, you know, if you're able to get a hold of the original guns are very hard to get a hold of anyway. I would love somebody out there on Shapeways to just make us the guns for these guys, and just so that way they can 3D print and then we can have them all. That would be nice. But I don't think there's a big enough demand. Maybe some people should start demanding more train bots, because train bots are cool. Anyhow, that is the little green one. Now let's move on to yet another one that is primarily a passenger train, the yellow one. Now this one, I do know that this right here is not really this orange, it's more of a red on the original. It's very difficult to get hold of the originals, I'll just tell you right now, because it's anytime you see them, they go for close to 1,000 or more, even if it's a loose set. These train bots are very good though. They really are worth the money if you can get hold of them. But anyhow, he is a lot like the little green one. He has primarily the same transformation, so this front part here comes off and becomes a little trolley. Train. I do like his detail though. I like how they've done this striping here. Pretty cool. Anyhow, same thing. Those legs out. Flip them up. This direction. His arm up. This direction. Move his arm up. Twist him at the waist. And then take this thing here and split it apart. And then you're going to peg it back on the back via the hole. He is actually identical to the other one's transformation. That's something you're going to see a lot of similarities throughout this entire set. This whole set has a lot of this. And there's some people out there like, I don't like trains, they all look the same, and and it's like, okay, you get the same thing with Superion, so get over it. Okay, this hole here's a little bit tight on this one, but there you go. There's the yellow one in his robot mode with his jetpack. Now, fun fact that most people don't know about these two particular here that I actually transformed, which this one here for some reason is really loose in his knees. It's probably because I keep him in Raiden mode more. These two here actually had the firing fist mechanism, because these are the ones that the actual fists go into. The firing mechanism would have been in this big gigantic chunk of a body on both of them. A little button on the top and would actually fire the fist. The KO does not have the firing fist. The firing fist has a peg sticking out about this far, and it's a lot like your Devastator. It was pretty much the same gimmick on the Devastator that was on this, because those two actually came from the same line at the same time in Japan. Now, to get hold of a real train robo, good luck, because that one is even worse to find than the Transformers Raiden version. Keep that in mind. Very difficult. Anyhow, let's move on to one of the bullet trains. This bullet train is actually really, really neat. I do like this one here a lot. This one actually does have the Diaclone driver gimmick, where you lift this here up and actually put the Diaclone driver on the inside of this. Now this, if you didn't want to do that and you didn't want to damage your toy, you would actually have to separate this and pull this portion here off for this to flip up higher, so we can really fit your driver in there probably a little better. I do like this guy a lot. I like the idea that when they made this, the tip of the train is a separate piece. It's actually a yellow piece. It's not some yellow paint they put on there, which is kind of nice. I do like the detail here brought out just from the striping here, so that way it actually shows all the windows. And they all roll pretty good. I mean, they roll very well. That's one thing I absolutely love about this set. Now, sadly, I don't have the clips. There's supposed to be clips that go in between them, so that way you can actually join all 6 trains together. It's very difficult to find those clips. I do know there's Shapeways that actually has made clips for those, because there are some people that actually demanded them, but they're very few and far between. All they are a little bitty green plastic thing that wedges in between the back of the train here. I mean, you can obviously tell there's no hitching mechanism. You wedge the little piece of plastic in between this, and then you would take the other one here and do the same thing and just wedge it, and then you would link them together like this and be choo choo, because it's a choo choo train, right? Okay, moving on. Anyhow, this guy has a lot of the same transformation as the blue one. You pull off this front portion here, which turns into a little trolley train, and then you move it to the side. You take this, you're going to pull his legs down, which are slightly stiff on this one. Put this chest piece here down. Then you're going to do the same thing here with the arms, but like I said, you got to be careful because those little tabs. There's not much you can do because it's the way it's designed, and it's designed to make that noise. And then you got his little head articulation still. But there you go. Post on the back, hole in between the wheels here where the screw's at, and that's where that goes. And there you go. There he is in his robot mode. Sit here right here. I'm starting to run out of room because there's so many of them. That's what's cool about this set. Anyhow. Let's move on to, well, yeah, let's go ahead and do the default thing, because this is actually the leader of the group, which is funny because he's the shortest. But yeah, he's really, really cool. I do like the detail on this train. This train is really nice. It's identical to the other one almost, except for it's got these two weird things sticking up on the back, which not much you can do there because these are actually for the combined robot mode. But there is no place to put a Diaclone figure in this one. You cannot fit one in this. Although this looks like it splits open, you cannot really fit a Diaclone figure in there. It just wouldn't work because there's a post that sticks out and that would really damage the figure if you did that. The Diaclone, and actually probably damage the doors on this, which I'll shut and close. Anyway, pull this portion here off. Comes another little trolley. Out of the way. And this is the primarily bulk of the body. Now this body actually has a lot of craziness going on here. It's very difficult to point everything out. The first thing I do is I always flip this portion here forward. That becomes the chest piece. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to unhitch these arms from these leg portions. And these leg portions here just kind of drop right down. And then what I'll normally do is I will normally face these guys forward just like this. Now you gotta pull them down all the way, otherwise they will not rotate at all. Then move his little arms down and then forward, down, and forward, and reach in here and flip up his head. There you go. There's his robot mode. He actually has a lot more transformation than the other ones, and I like the idea that they decided to do something slightly different with him. Although this does become part of the torso, which is kind of nice. I do like the idea this is yet another robot that requires 6 robots to form the big guy. That's something I really enjoy about these guys. But there you go. Now, as for this part, split this in half. It's got this long peg sticking out. I mean, I guess you could probably try to fit a Diaclone driver in there with his feet like shoved way up in here, but I kind of really don't recommend it. I mean, I guess you could fit one in there if you wanted to. It's got 3 holes on the back. You can use the center hole, use this post, and put that on there, and there you go. There he is in his robot mode. Set him down right here. Hopefully he doesn't fall over. And then we're going to move on to the workhorse, or the diesel locomotive. This right here is the freight train. Do like this guy a lot. This guy's got a lot of interesting things going on with him. Not to mention just the sculpted detail this train has. It's just it's pretty incredible. I do like all the detail this terrain actually has. One thing to look out for is these two here little bitty red stickers that go on his arms. Sometimes you'll find them where those are missing. Now in the very obscure, extremely hard version to find of this particular set, although this guy here in the really hard to find set is completely chrome, this guy, all the red is translucent orange plastic. Very hard to find. If you do find him, most people don't even try to transform him because they're afraid that it's going to break the plastic. That's how hard it is to find one of these guys. That's actually one of the rare variant of the Diaclone version. There is zero place to put a figure in this one. You cannot put a Diaclone figure in this one at all. There's no place at all. I've tried to figure out places and there just isn't. It looks like this right here would flip up here on the front. It does not. None of that actually flips. I kind of wish that there was a way to actually make this right here open, or if there was a way, I don't know, somehow they could have engineered it in, but it's very difficult to engineer for a 1-inch figure to fit inside this thing. Anyway, transformation for this guy, you pull this front end of the engine off. Now this doesn't look like much. It really doesn't. It literally looks like the front end of the train. But this kind of looks like the smaller little freight trains that pull back and forth, so I guess you can kind of get away with that. These guys do roll very well, though. I mean, they do have very good rolling capability, which is one thing I have to commend this set on. Anyway, transformation for this guy is kind of a pain. Pull these two out, these two leg portions, and you'll kind of flip these down. And then you will pull these two side portions out to the side. After you kind of stand him up. You flip this whole thing up. It will actually kind of lock into place too. And then you'll take his head and you pull his head up. Much like the old GoBots or Machine Robo. You actually pull his head all the way up. Which is kind of weird, because most of them like a flip-de-doo or something like that, with Transformers and such. Now this part literally just plugs onto a hole on his back. Now there's two holes. You can plug it here, or you can plug it here. I primarily try to plug it here, because I think it looks a little more symmetrical. It actually kind of helps balance him a little better, because he is very tall, and he is the biggest one of the group. I do like these guys a lot. I am, like I said, partial to Raiden because I'm a train fanatic, but I actually think Raiden is probably one of the most, I would say, decent combiners designed, because everything is unique about this guy. There was nothing really ripped off from something else that you've seen. Much like the Scramble City, they all had the same type of transformation. These guys all kind of have a bit of a different transformation. Although these two and these two are identical, but you'll figure out why here in a little bit. Now he does come with a ton of parts. You've got this portion here that's for the chest, the wing for the chest, this back stacked looking portion, two little stack things that actually plug on the back. Not to mention you've got these that are stabilizers. These right here do come off. So if you are out trying to find one, make sure it's got these little things here attached. There's two of these. And they do come off. So if you're trying to find one, make sure you got them. If you don't have them, then it's not going to want to. It'll stand up and do its thing, but it's not going to be as stable. It also comes with two fists. And the gun. The gun's very well detailed, by the way. It's actually pretty nice. But anyhow, moving all that stuff to the side, we got to get this guy into his combination mode. So, First things first is I always start with this guy. Primarily because the torso is the hardest part to put together of this entire combiner. Put this little head back down. And you're going to fold this back forward again. And then you're going to flip these up. I think I just did that wrong. I might have just done that wrong. Maybe not. No. Yeah. I'm trying to, okay, yeah. Because I had to plug into this other one. See, you can see why this is confusing. That's all right. You leave this up, you just push his head down and you push these two arms down. So that way he's doing this weird thing where he puts his arms under. Acts like an I am a robot, I am a robot, I am a block. Look at me, I'm a block. It's kind of funny because those right there look like eyes. Anyway. What you're primarily going to do is just that. Other than that, go. Slide these two things here up. And there you go. Now you got your waist piece and tops of your thighs and bottom part of your torso. This guy, we'll get onto this part later. Lots of parts for me. Did I mention that? Probably. Anyway, this guy, I'm going to flip his head down. I'm going to turn him over. Remove this part. You'll need that later. Then you're going to move his arms. I move his arms down as far as they'll go in this position. You're going to take these, and these will spin all the way around. And you've got this slot, and this part here of the back part of the arm actually will slot into this. Just like so. Just like that. Now you're going to do the same thing here on the other side, except for this wheel portion has to go in between into that slot. So I kind of wished both of them did this, not this. As you can see, you got a square and round peg. That's not going to matter later on. Trust me on this because it works this way. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this chest piece here and you're going to flip this all the way up and close off the top. Now you got the top of your torso. So you're going to take the top of the torso, you're going to take these two pegs here and you put them in those two holes. And you just squeeze it together just like that. And there you go. Now you got his whole torso portion built. You're going to take this, there's a hole here, there, and there. This has got 3 pegs that stick out on the back. So you're going to put this here. And then you got to kind of finagle it and make it all fit together into the little holes. There we go. Things will move around probably several times on you while you do this because that is the way Raiden is. He is just a finicky transformation, but it's fun once it's done. Trust me on this. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to take this part here and you leave it open, and you're going to flip this piece here up. That part is going to go just like so. It plugs in, leaves this portion here sticking up just like that, and as far as you go there. Then you're going to take this wing piece and this will actually plug directly onto the front of that. That's as far as we're going to go with this part. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the legs. Pull this here off. Then you're going to take these, flip these back around, put these back into, you're almost going to put them back into train mode. Now see, like I said, these do pop off, and they pop off very easily, and from what I've gathered, the original does the same thing. It just happens with these guys. Flip up the chest piece, and then you're going to take this part and you're going to flip it forward, just like that. So if you're just going to kneel down, then you take this and you've got this kind of a cavity here, and you got those two pegs, and these two pegs here are actually going to hug around this little piece right here. And there you go. Now, you're going to take one of these and plug it into this hole. Now see, it doesn't matter which way you can do it. You can kind of scramble city these guys a little bit. Like the arms and the legs, you can switch. But that's it. That's the only thing you can switch on these guys. And then you're going to take this and you're going to plug it in here. Now, this does have a bit of a lip that comes over. So there is a special way of doing this, because if you look at these actually are designed like that. So you make sure the lip thing kind of goes over the front of this, because this keeps the leg from buckling forward or moving, which is kind of nice. And it does give them like little rocket thrusters real quick. Set that one aside. And we're going to work on the other leg. Much like the other one, it is the same transformation. It's around, it's up, it's around, it's up. Flip this forward and up. That, and then we'll put this here. We're going to take this and plug this in, just like so. There we go. Another leg done. Identical. Same way, same transformation. Now, you got these weird fists sticking up, right? On the bottom of him, he's got two sets of ports. This set of ports goes in here. This set of ports goes in here. And there you go. Now you notice he's got a bit of floppy leg syndrome going on here. And we're going to remedy that here shortly. Take the little yellow guy, since he likes to fall forward anyway already. I'm going to pull this whole entire backpack portion off. Now I recommend when you pull it off there, if you got it open already, leave it open, because it needs to stay open for the next part. These guys here, you're going to move these little arms back down. Actually, scratch that. Rotate this guy at the waist, so that way he's faced this way. Then rotate these down. And then flip this direction. Pull it all the way down like that, and then you'll take a fist and you will plug it into the hole, just like so. Now, the direction that you put this is to your own discretion. This can actually be face this direction, or you can make them face inward. I recommend this direction because I like to have all the black stuff here and all the gray here, but some people like to swap it around the other way. You can do it either direction. Same thing here. Turn at the waist, this direction, pull this that way, and then place fist. Now I'm going to go ahead and shove one of the guns in his hand so we don't have to do it later. Now, I'm going to put both arms to the side because we're going to install these things. Now if you look here, there's a cavity right here, this little bitty roundish kind of cavity. That is where one of the posts, and these guys can only go on one way. This post will actually plug into that little hole. Once it's plugged into the little hole, this is going to want to wrap around. You don't want to do that just yet. You want to actually have both put in here. Now this part right here is the part that tends to really irritate a lot of people that's owned this mold. If you've never owned this mold, I highly suggest you just be patient about it, but you can make it work, but you have to do this in order to kind of fold these in. Now these will fold in on top of each other just like so, but that's as far as it's going to go. It's just primarily to fill in the back of him. And there you go. These legs here will not move out now. They're kind of locked in place because of those two pieces there push in. Now, raising the camera up because I'm professional, right? Arms. There's a hole here on this side, hole there on that side. you probably see where this is going. This will plug into this arm hole. I'm not going to try shoving it in all the way because it's... There we go. Yeah. Then, I'm going to do the same thing here. Now you can see it's kind of floppy here. It's going to be floppy. Why? Because you have to build his jetpack. Move him to the side. His jetpack, I tend to make these stick down. Some people will stick them up. Doesn't matter. This right here is not going to matter which direction. That's a preference. But these, you're going to plug in just like so. That becomes two little thruster horn thingies. And then you're going to use the weird square peg. Yeah, I know I'm putting a round peg in a square hole. And this round one here. And you got to just kind of finagle it and make it fit. It's very difficult to do sometimes, but there we go. There's his horn thingies. Yes. Now, last but not least is the head. You're going to take this portion here on the bottom and you're going to flip this all the way down. Now you've got this peg hole here. Well, here at the top of him there is a peg right there. This will plug directly onto that, and you have to kind of move a little bit. And then you do the epic head reveal and fold these two little flaps back, just like so. And there you go. These can be positioned kind of however you want. I tend to just put them kind of straight. And there you are. There is Generation 1 Raiden in his full-on robot mode. Now, you guys can tell he is a combiner. He scales very well with Devastator, Protectobots, Computron, Abominus. He looks awesome next to them. He really does fit in very well. Although his transformation aesthetic seems to be almost completely different considering Devastator's is as well. Because these two were from the same line. It was going to be Train Robo and Construction Robo, and all they were rescue things. All they did was destroy the evil Warderos and the Bug Clan, because they're Diaclone and they're weird and they really didn't have a storyline. Yeah, anyway. It's primarily what they want. But there is Generation 1 Raiden. You guys stay tuned, because I have another combiner I'm going to review. And he is awesome. And by the way, for anybody that is wanting to buy this guy's already sold. He's sold pretty quickly. I do have another combiner though. I know a lot of folks are going to probably be after. So, you guys stay tuned. I'll end up having some more. This has been Plasticon. He's been Raiden. And this is me, signing off. Peace out, you guys.